Hello, everybody. I just wanted to show you how the Bramble world works before you actually go in there for our presentation. So I'm going to make myself a little bit smaller here so that I don't interfere with anything that you need to. Let's see, where am I going to put myself? I'm going to put myself over here. I guess that works. So it's to show you what is happening on Bramble without actually, my face interfering with everything. So I'm going to go online where my Bramble space is. My screen is looking a little bit odd over there, so I think I'm just going to put my video off so that it doesn't get too confusing. Alrighty, so now once you get in there, you are able to actually go in here and customize. So you see how I came in here and I actually uploaded my picture. You can also edit under Edit Profile. You can upload your picture, you can change your color, you can actually do all those things that, by the way, I haven't done yet in terms of entering your website and things like that. I have no idea what is playing. Oh yes, I put some Brazilian music there because that's where I am originally from. Once you get in here, you just go straight through the door. It says go through the door. So you just follow the instructions over there. And then depending on the speed of your computer, it's going to be a little faster, a little slower, depending on how this goes. Okay. All right, here I am. So here's my room. By the way, here on the right is my dog, Buffy. And here on my right is actually where my office is. So this is where I hang out and I have meetings with people. My students come and talk to me. We can share our screens. We can see each other. It's pretty much a lot of fun. There are other little rooms in here. When you come in here, feel free to explore. Now, again, normally I wouldn't have a black screen over there. It's just that because I'm using yet another system to record this conversation, I thought it would be better not to mess up to have two cameras in the same place. All right, if you go here to the left, you're going to see the classroom that I normally use when I have a smaller group, for example, when I'm teaching my students, so everybody could sit in here. And all those rooms, whenever you see these white areas, they are called private rooms, so people can actually talk to each other and hear each other. By the way, over there is my cat, Frisky. All right, now here is where we're actually going to be. So you notice that when I present, I'm going to be presenting over here. I'm going to be straight in the spotlight. And when I'm in the spotlight, everybody is able to see me, right? So that's where I'm actually going to be. And you guys are going to be sitting on these little tables over here. And inside these tables that I would imagine you could have probably 4 or 5 people, actually theoretically even 6 people in each table, depending on how many people we have that day, is where those are also private spaces. So whatever happens in these particular rooms, you're not going to be able to, nobody else is going to be able to hear. Okay, let me stop this and make sure that it's coming out okay. Yes, it is. All right, so let me go back to where I was. As you see, I'm not trying to make this too perfect. All right, once you are in this room, then nobody can hear you. So we will be able, what's going to happen is that everybody's camera, as long as you have your camera on and not off like I have mine, everybody will be able to hear each other, which means that it's very important that you mute yourselves during the presentation when you're not talking until I say, all right, guys, group discussion, at which point only the people in your group are going to be able to see you and hear you. Now, what happens if you want to actually talk to me or ask me a question? Well, down here, you're going to see this show chat. So you can actually write a chat in here, and we're going to have some colleagues checking on the chats for me so that if there is a question, somebody can direct it to me, because if I'm paying attention to the presentation, I may not see you. The other thing that you can do is you can come outside of your room, and then again, the colleagues paying attention to where people are will be able to let me know, hey, Chris, there's a question over there. You can also, of course, walk all the way to where I am, and then I will probably see you. But just keep in mind that I'm going to be really focused on the presentation at any times in which you guys are not interacting. So that's why I'm going to need my colleagues to find the best time to interrupt me and let me know that there's a question. Now, how are you going to see the presentation itself and the participant materials? That's an interesting thing about Bramble, and I've been toying with a couple of options here. One of the options is I could simply share my screen. But in West Des Moines, where I live in Iowa, I don't know what's been going on, but sometimes the internet goes a little funky. And I don't want you to get funky slides. I want you to get nice and crispy slides. So in order to avoid my internet messes to impact the quality of your slides, what I think is better for us to do is for you to go in here and open the presentation. Now, you're going to see show website, and you just click on it. And once you click on the show slide, you're actually going to see my slides. Now, this is going to be a little weird because I'm actually going to be telling you, hey, go ahead and let me see once again if I am in the right place. Yeah, I am. I'm not interfering with that at all. That's actually good. Great. So I'm going to say, all right, guys, slide 2. And then you just go over here and then you click on slide 2. And all right, slide 3. And it's a little odd to the way that I'm used to doing things, but I just want to make sure that the internet does not impact the quality of the presentation. Because when something goes wrong with the internet on Bramble, they prioritize the sound, because as long as you can hear me and you can see the presentation, everything is cool, right? So if I get a little fuzzy, your presentation is still going to be fine. Okay, now at any time in which I say, all right, group discussion, then what I would do is close the presentation, because again, opening it just means you open it again, right? Let me show the website again. The only problem is that when you do that, you may need to move back to where we were, but I will direct you to what the actual line was. By the way, I haven't totally decided this yet. I may be able to find a way to solve the internet problems, but I'm just preparing you just in case. So you just close this, and then I'm going to say, all right, guys, now open the briefing. And then when you open the briefing, what you're going to see is actually the materials that you need for the presentation. So notice that each table has its own materials, and what's going to happen is you're going to have the materials on the left, and then on the right you're still going to be able to see each other. So it's what I love about my Bramble room is that it's quite a fun experience, because it feels a little more real. It's a cartoon world, but it feels more real anyway. Once we're done with the presentation, feel free to explore as much as you want. Just move around the room. One of the areas, for example, that I absolutely love is the rooftop. And in the rooftop, you have a bunch of other little areas where people can sit down and network and chat. So if you happen to have any free time after the presentation and you want to go with a colleague to just have a conversation, you can. Any of these areas here, you see, it says entering a private area. So then you can go and have a conversation. And then when you're ready to leave, all you have to do is, close your browser and you will be out. So see here, and by the way, I put Brazilian music because once again, I am from Brazil. Okay, so let me go back to where I was recording, and slides off. Okay, let me put myself back here. Okay, make myself bigger again. This is a new system, by the way. I am definitely going to have, let me make myself bigger. There you go. I'm definitely going to have a tech talk about this system. It's called I was trying to investigate why on earth they gave it this weird name, but it's super, super cool. So of course, me being the technology geek that I am, whenever somebody gives me a new toy to play with, I had to play with, and I thought it would be fun to record this very brief Bramble tutorial to you before the session so that you know what's going to be happening. Okay, so see you next week. And in Portuguese, goodbye is tchau. And see you soon is nos vemos em breve. So, tchau e nos vemos em breve. Goodbye.